Welcome to Yoga for All by the Yoga Funk. I'm your host, Jake, and this is episode 9.
And I'm Hannah.
So glad to have everyone back, especially those of you who've been here since the beginning. And of course, a big welcome to anyone new to the journey. Last time we got into how yoga can be amazing for managing stress, which, let's be honest, can really zap your energy. And that leads us perfectly into today's episode, how yoga can not only help you get your energy back, but actually set you up for like a super productive and positive day.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're going to be exploring how a specific kind of yoga flow, especially when you do it in the morning, combined with some targeted breath work, can have a huge impact on your focus and energy all day long.
Awesome.
We've put this episode together to be helpful whether you're a seasoned yogi or you're just starting out. So no matter what your level is, there's definitely something in here for you.
Okay, so let's jump right in. I think most of us know that feeling of like reaching for the coffee first thing in the morning. Oh, how does yoga compare to that jolt of caffeine? Is it a sustainable way to boost energy?
It really is. Think of it this way. Coffee is kind of like borrowing energy from later in the day, which is why you often get that afternoon crash.
Right.
Yoga, though, is about creating energy from within. It's more natural, more sustainable.
That makes a lot of sense, but how does it actually work? What's the science behind yoga's like energizing effects?
So a few things are going on. First, when you move your body, especially first thing in the morning, you're getting your circulation going, which means more oxygen and nutrients are getting to your brain and muscles. And that alone can help you feel more awake and have more energy.
So it's like a wake-up call for your entire system.
Exactly. Second, yoga kind of gently nudges your nervous system, helping it go from like sleepy mode to a more alert, focused state.
Oh, interesting.
And lastly, yoga is amazing at reducing cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is naturally higher in the mornings, which helps us wake up. But if it stays high, it can make you feel anxious and drained. Yoga helps bring those cortisol levels back into balance.
Wow. So yoga is like a triple threat for morning energy. Better circulation, a balanced nervous system, and less stress. I'm starting to see why it's so much better than just chugging coffee.
Totally. And remember, last week when we talked about how yoga can help with stress, well, those benefits carry over into your mornings too. When you start your day feeling calm and centered, you're less likely to get thrown off by all the, little challenges that pop up.
Makes total sense. So it sounds like morning yoga isn't just about feeling energized. It's about setting yourself up for a positive day overall. Now, before we get into specific poses, I want to ask something that some of our listeners might be thinking. Isn't yoga mainly about flexibility? How does that translate to more energy and focus?
That's a great question. Flexibility is definitely important in yoga, but it's only part of it. Yoga also strengthens your muscles, improves your posture, and helps you think more clearly. It really works on your mind, body, and spirit.
Okay, you've convinced me on the why. Now let's get to the how. What kind of yoga can we actually do to energize ourselves in the morning? Can we do this right in our living rooms?
Absolutely. You don't need any special equipment or a ton of space. We're going to walk you through a simple but super effective morning yoga flow that you can follow along with right now or, save it for later.
Okay.
It's designed to gently wake up your body, improve circulation, and leave you feeling ready to take on your day.
Let's get into it. What's the first pose in our morning flow?
Start with a gentle warm-up. It's called cat-cow stretch, or in Sanskrit, Marjari Asana Batilasana. Sanskrit is the ancient language of yoga. And you'll often hear poses called by their Sanskrit names. You don't have to memorize them, but it can add a little something extra to your practice.
Interesting. I actually like learning the Sanskrit names. Makes me feel more connected to the tradition. So how do we do cat, cow?
Start on your hands and knees. Hands shoulder width apart and knees hip width apart. This is called tabletop pose. As you breathe in, drop your belly toward the floor. Lift your chest and chin up and look slightly upwards. This is cow pose,
Good job.
like arching your back like a cat stretching.
Got it. Arching my back on the inhale. What about the exhale?
As you breathe out, round your spine up towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin towards your chest and let your eyes drop towards your belly button. This is cat pose. It's like you're making a hump in your back. Imagine a cat getting ready to pounce.
So we're switching back and forth between arching and rounding the spine, matching our breath to the movements. This feels really good already.
It's a great way to wake up your spine and get energy flowing through your whole body. Keep doing this cat-cow flow for about 5 breaths.
5 breaths. Okay. I'm assuming we're not holding our breath at any point.
Nope. You want to keep your breath smooth and steady throughout the practice. In yoga, the breath is considered like the bridge between the body and the mind.
Okay, that's a good reminder. I can feel my spine waking up.
What's next? From cat-cow, we'll move into downward facing dog, or Adho Mukha Samanasana in Sanskrit. To get there, tuck your toes under, press into your hands and lift your hips up and back, making an upside down V shape with your body. Your hands should be shoulder width apart and your feet hip width apart.
Okay, I'm in downward dog. What should I be focusing on here?
First, press your hands firmly into the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Then try to lengthen your spine by reaching your tailbone up and back. It's okay if your heels don't touch the ground. The important thing is to create a straight line from your wrists to your hips. You can also gently pedal your feet, bending one knee and then the other to loosen up your hamstrings and calves.
This feels great. Downward dog always feels like it's stretching my whole body.
It is. Hold this pose for 5 breaths. Let your blood circulate and let your body open up.
5 breaths. Got it. Feeling nice and stretched. What comes after downward dog?
Now we'll flow through a few rounds of sun salutations or Surya Namaskar in Sanskrit. It's a dynamic sequence that connects a bunch of poses, creating a beautiful flow of movement and breath.
I love sun salutations. They always make me feel so energized.
Me too. It's a fantastic way to warm up your whole body and get your heart rate going. Let's start by standing at the front of your mat with your feet together in mountain pose or Tadasana. As you breathe in, sweep your arms up overhead, reaching towards the sky.
Like I'm saying hello to the sun.
Exactly. Then breathe out and swan dive forward, bending at your hips, reaching towards your toes. This is forward fold or Uttanasana.
So we're folding in half, keeping our back as straight as we can. Should my knees be bent or straight?
It's totally fine to bend your knees if that feels better. The main thing is to keep your spine long and not round your back. Now inhale and halfway lift, keeping your back flat and your gaze forward.
Got it.
This is called halfway lift or Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and step back with your right foot, then your left, coming into a plank position or Phalakasana with your shoulders stacked over your wrists.
Plank is a challenge. My core is definitely working. What if it's too intense?
You can always modify. If a pose feels too much, you can lower your knees to the floor, keeping a straight line from your head to your knees. It's called knee plank. Listen to your body and do what feels best. Now, inhale and press up into either Cobra pose or Bhujangasana or upward facing dog, which is Urdhva Mukha Svanasana.
Whoa, lots of Sanskrit. Which one should I do?
Good question. For Cobra pose, you'll keep your hips on the floor and press into your hands, lifting your chest off the floor. Keep your elbows slightly bent and pull your shoulder blades together. It's a gentler back bend. For an upward facing dog, press into your hands and the tops of your feet. Straighten your arms and lift your chest and thighs off the floor. It's a deeper back bend. Choose whichever one feels best for your body today.
Okay.
Either way, you're opening up your chest and shoulders.
Got it. I think I'll stick with Cobra pose today. It feels great for my back after sitting so much. Feels good on my back after sitting at my desk all the time. What's next in the sun salutation?
Now breathe out and press back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Then step your right foot forward between your hands, followed by your left foot, your back and forward fold or Uttanasana. Inhale, and rise all the way back up to standing, stacking your spine one vertebra at a time. As you get to the top, bring your palms together at your heart center, coming back to mountain pose. And that's one round of sun salutation.
Wow, that felt amazing. Like a total body wake up. How many rounds should we do?
I recommend doing at least 3, but feel free to do more if you're feeling good. Listen to your body and take breaks if you need them. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about moving with intention and connecting to your breath. How are you feeling, Jake?
Feeling fantastic. My body's warmed up. I can feel my energy going up already. What's next in our energizing flow?
From here, we'll go to a standing pose called Warrior 2 or Virabhadrasana 2 in Sanskrit. This pose builds strength and stability in your legs and core and also opens up your hips and chest.
Awesome, I'm ready. How do we get into Warrior 2?
Start standing at the front of your mat in mountain pose. As you breathe in, step your right foot back about 4 feet, turning your right foot outwards about 90 degrees. Your front toes should point straight ahead, and your back foot should be angled in just slightly. You want your front heel lined up with the arch of your back foot. This stance is really important for balance.
Got it? Feet are in position. What next?
Now breathe out and bend your left knee over your left ankle, keeping your left thigh parallel to the floor.
Okay.
Make sure your left knee is tracking over your left ankle and not going inwards. Extend your arms out to the sides, parallel to the floor, palms facing down. Gaze over your left fingertips. Hold this pose for 5 breaths and feel that strength and stability in your legs and core.
I love Warrior 2. It makes me feel so strong.
It is a powerful pose, physically and mentally. Keep your core engaged. Relax your shoulders down and breathe deep into your belly. After 5 breaths, straighten your front leg, turn your right foot forward, and step your feet back together, going back to mountain pose.
Back to mountain pose. Okay, ready for the other side.
Awesome. Now we'll do the pose on the other side. So this time, step your left foot back, bend your right knee, and look over your right fingertips. Remember to keep that same alignment and that engagement in your core.
All right, I'm in. Warrior 2 on the other side. Feeling grounded.
Beautiful. Hold this pose for 5 breaths, just like you did on the first side.
5 breaths. Okay, done. I'm feeling really good after those Warrior 2 poses.
Yeah.
What's next in our flow?
To finish up our energizing flow, we'll move into standing, forward fold or Uttanasana, and then back up to mountain pose. From standing, exhale and fold forward from your hips, letting your head and neck relax towards the floor. Let your arms hang loose toward the ground or hold opposite elbows. You can keep your knees slightly bent if that feels better. For your hamstrings, let gravity pull away any tension in your back, neck, and shoulders.
Ah, this feels so good. Like a gentle release for my whole back.
It's great for releasing tension, especially after, sleeping all night. Stay here for a few breaths. Let your body soften and surrender. Then, when you're ready, inhale and slowly rise back up to standing, stacking your spine 1 vertebra at a time. As you reach the top, bring your palms together at your heart center. Coming back into mountain pose, stand tall. Feel that grounding energy of the earth beneath your feet.
Mountain pose always feels so peaceful and centering. I feel like I can take on anything after that flow.
Me too. And remember, even if you only do a couple of these poses every morning, it can make a big difference in your energy and mood. But we're not done yet. We still need to explore breath work for boosting energy and setting a positive tone for the day. What are your thoughts on breath work, Jake? Have you tried it much?
I have. I'm always amazed by how something so simple can have such a big effect on our minds and bodies, especially after last week's episode on stress. I've been paying more attention to my breath throughout the day, and it's just...
That's great. Breath work, or pranayama in Sanskrit, is really powerful for regulating your energy and calming the nervous system. One of my favorite techniques for mornings is Kapalabhati, which translates to skull shining breath. It's known for its invigorating and clarifying effects.
Ooh, that sounds perfect for mornings when I'm feeling extra sluggish.
Yeah.
And how do we do Kapalabhati?
Must find a comfortable seated position, either on the floor with your legs crossed or in a chair with your feet flat on the floor.
All right.
The most important thing is to have a straight spine so your breath can flow easily. We'll start by taking a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs all the way. Then exhale forcefully through your nose while pulling your belly in towards your spine.
Okay.
The inhale happens naturally as you release your belly. It's all about the short, quick exhales. You imagine like pumping your belly button towards your spine with each exhale.
So it's like we're actively pushing the air out, almost like a sneeze, but through our nose.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. You want to feel your abs working. We'll do 30 short exhales in a row, then rest for a moment. If you're new, start with 10 and build up.
30 rounds. Got it. Is there anything else I should keep in mind while I'm doing this?
Yeah, a few things. First, keep your shoulders and chest relaxed. Second, don't tense your jaw or face. And lastly, if you start to feel lightheaded, stop and take a few normal breaths before continuing. This is about boosting energy, not draining it.
Okay, good tips. I'll pay attention to how I'm feeling. Excited to try it out.
Great. And we'll walk you through it. But before we do, let's connect this breath work to the bigger picture of how moving in the morning affects productivity and mental clarity. Because it's not just about feeling energized in the moment, it's about setting yourself up for a more focused and productive day.
That's a great point. I'm really curious to hear more about that connection.
Okay, so before we get into Kapalabhati, let's talk about how moving in the morning can actually make you feel more energized and focused throughout the day.
Yes, please. I'm ready to hear about it. I know we talked a bit about the science behind how yoga gives you energy earlier, but I'd love to hear more about how that turns into like more productivity and mental clarity.
Absolutely, and it's not just like people saying they feel better. There's actual research to back it up.
Oh, cool. So it's not just about feeling good. There are real benefits.
Exactly. Studies have actually shown that when we move our bodies, especially first thing in the morning, we're increasing blood flow to the brain. And that can really help with things like memory, attention, and how quickly you process information.
So it's like a jump start for our brains.
Yeah, exactly. And remember how we talked about how yoga can lower cortisol, the stress hormone? Well, that also plays a big role in being able to focus and get things done. When your cortisol levels are high all the time, it can mess with how your brain works, making it hard to concentrate or make decisions.
Yeah, I know. When I'm stressed out, it's like my brain is going a million miles an hour. It's hard to think straight, and I end up feeling all over the place and I don't get anything done.
Exactly. Yoga helps us kind of manage our emotions and get those stress hormones back to normal. That means we don't freak out as much when stressful stuff happens, which helps us make better decisions and be more productive.
So it's not just about getting through your to-do list. It's about being calmer and more focused so you can handle anything that comes up.
You got it. And the benefits go even beyond managing stress. Studies show that moving regularly in the morning can help you manage your time better, improve your mood, and even help you procrastinate less.
Wait, yoga can help me stop procrastinating? Okay, that's life-changing. But seriously, how does that work?
Well, think about it. When you start your day with a purpose, moving your body, connecting with your breath, you're setting yourself up for a good day. It's like prepping your mind and body to be more focused and get stuff done.
So we're creating this positive cycle. We move, which gives us more energy and focus, which makes us more likely to get things done and feel good about it.
Exactly. And the best part? It doesn't have to take forever. Even a few minutes of yoga or breath work can make a difference. It's all about finding what works for you and making it a part of your day.
That's good to hear because I know a lot of people have trouble fitting exercise in, especially in the mornings.
Totally. But even 5 or 10 minutes can help. The key is to do it regularly. It's better to do a little every day than try to squeeze in a long session once a week.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm ready to experience those energizing and productivity boosting benefits we've been talking about. So let's go back to that Kapalabhati breathwork technique you mentioned earlier.
Yes, let's do it. So remember, we're in a comfortable seated position, either on the floor or in a chair with a straight spine. For Kapalabhati, we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up those lungs. Then exhale forcefully through your nose, pulling your belly in toward your spine.
Okay, right. Short, sharp exhales, kind of like a gentle pumping with the belly.
Exactly. The inhale just happens naturally when you relax your belly. It's all about those active exhales. Keep your shoulders and chest relaxed and don't tense up your face or jaw. Let's do 10 rounds together. You can always do more if it feels good.
Okay, I'm ready.
Deep breath in through your nose. So inhaling and exhale forcefully, pulling that belly in. Good. Again. Inhale naturally. Exhale forcefully. Inhale.
Pull in, exhaling forcefully.
Keep going. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, exhale, pull. Great. You're doing awesome.
Continues Kapalabhati breathing and release.
How are you feeling?
Wow. Feels like my whole head is tingling. Definitely feel more awake.
That's common with Kapalabhati. It's thought to increase circulation and help clear your mind. It's like a natural energy drink.
It really is. I feel energized but not jittery like I can sometimes get with coffee.
Exactly. And that's one of the great things about yoga and breath work. They're more balanced ways to manage your energy. They work with your body, not against it.
Okay. I'm sold. So we've covered a specific yoga flow for energy, and we've tried a couple of body breath work. What are some other things our listeners can take away from today and use in their lives?
Great question. I think the most important thing is to start your day intentionally, whether it's 5 minutes or 30. Taking time in the morning to connect with your body and your breath can make a huge difference in how you feel and how you handle your day.
Totally. It's not about being perfect or doing an hour of yoga every morning. It's about finding what works for you and doing it regularly.
Exactly. And even small, consistent things can have a big impact. If you're new to yoga, try a few poses each morning and build from there. The most important thing is to listen to your body and find what feels good for you.
And don't be afraid to try out different types of yoga and breath work. There are so many options. Find what you like and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Yoga is a journey, not a destination. It's about exploring, discovering, and connecting with yourself on a deeper level. And the more you practice, the more benefits you'll see.
I love that. So as we wrap up, I want to go back to what you said earlier about starting the day with intention. It's such a powerful idea. How can our listeners actually do that in their morning routines?
It's a really personal thing. For some people, it might be just taking a minute to sit quietly and breathe before getting out of bed. For others, it might be writing down a few things they're grateful for or setting an intention for their day.
So it's about finding little things that help us go from feeling sleepy to feeling more aware and ready for the day.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even just a little change in how you think can make a difference.
I totally agree. For me, even just taking a few minutes to stretch and move my body before I start my day helps me feel more grounded and energized. It's like I'm telling myself, okay, I'm ready to be present and really experience today.
Yeah, that's great. That's exactly what it's about. Finding what helps you connect with yourself and create a more positive experience.
So for those listening who are feeling inspired, what would you recommend?
They can always listen to this episode again and practice with us. We went through a whole energizing yoga flow and showed you how to do Kapalabhati breath work. So they have everything they need to get started. And we love hearing from you. Connect with us on social media or send us a message through our website. Let us know how you're using these practices and how they're impacting your mornings.
It's a community, right? We're all learning and growing and supporting each other in this journey of well-being.
Exactly. And speaking of learning and growing, I have a question for our listeners to think about as we finish up today.
Ooh, I like questions that make you think. Give it to me.
Think about this. How might having a morning yoga practice change how you see the day ahead not just in terms of getting things done, but your whole outlook and how you approach challenges.
Okay, so let's unpack that question.
Right. So I asked you to think about how having a morning yoga practice might change how you see the whole day, not just your to-do list.
It's a big one. It's more than just checking things off, right? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's about being more aware of yourself, your body, your surroundings before the craziness of the day starts.
So it's an inside out kind of thing. Like the benefits aren't just about doing stuff, but how we approach everything.
Yeah, exactly. When we move and connect with our breath, especially when it's quiet in the morning, we're creating space to look inward, to check in with ourselves.
Like tuning into our own channel before the world starts bombarding us with everything else.
I love that. And that awareness, that feeling of being grounded, helps us handle challenges better.
Instead of just reacting, we can respond in a more thoughtful way.
Exactly. And that affects everything, how we talk to people, how we work, even just our mood.
So it's like setting a positive intention for the day, but not just in a vague sense. It's more like we've practiced being calm and focused, so it's easier to tap into that all day.
Yeah, it's like planting a little seed of mindfulness that grows throughout the day.
That's a great image, and it reminds me of something we talked about before about yoga for stress.
Oh, you mean how yoga makes us more resilient?
Yes. It's like when we're on our mats holding a tough pose or just breathing, we're learning to adapt, building mental and emotional strength.
And those skills totally help us in everyday life. That resilience lets us navigate challenges more smoothly.
So the next time I'm freaking out about a deadline, I can channel my inner yogi.
Exactly. Remember that feeling of stability in mountain pose? Or the strength and determination you feel in Warrior 2?
It's like those poses are more than just physical. They remind us of what we have inside.
Right. And that's empowering. It lets us handle ups and downs with more grace.
So a morning yoga practice is way more than just a quick energy boost. It's about changing how we deal with challenges.
Going from reactive to responsive, from feeling overwhelmed to feeling empowered.
Exactly. And that makes all the difference in how we experience our day and even our lives.
And I think that's a perfect thought to leave our listeners with today.
This has been such a great conversation. I'm definitely rolling out my mat tomorrow morning.
And don't forget, consistency is key. Even a few minutes of yoga in the morning can make a difference. So why not give it a try this week?
Yes, we'd love to hear how it goes for you. Try this morning yoga routine for the next few days and let us know how you feel. Leave a comment on our channel and tell us about your experience.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who might need a little extra energy boost in their mornings.
Thanks for joining us on Yoga for All. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present, and keep practicing.